I know how much you guys love watching bad drivers and idiots come together on your screens and act like dummies for our entertainment. So today we thought about keeping you tuned in for a little longer than usual. Here are 30 minutes of idiots in cars for you, so you might want to grab something to eat before we begin. If you're ready, then let's begin right away. Mimicking a police car while drifting past an actual police car, these guys end up getting a nice surprise by the name of karma when the idiot crashes into another car. When these guys decided to film a close flyby, I bet they probably didn't mean destroying the side mirrors and sideswiping the car's type of close. All that for one video. While leaving this car meet, this Mustang driver thought it would be best to leave in style, but ended up staying there and becoming an embarrassment instead.
The paycheck gotta be fat.
Sometimes you don't even need to do anything but to let these guys be, and they'll still do what they think needs to be done and crash for no reason. All the cars are stopped and an impatient miscreant can't seem to stay in line for long and pulls out into the other lane not once but twice and almost wrecks another car while doing it. Then we have people that think they can make a turn from the furthest left to the furthest right only because they had their indicator on. It's not a rite of passage. If you have a trailer or caravan that you're towing around, you must know what significance weight placement has over these things. And if you don't, here's why it matters. Imagine being 7'5" with a size 7 shoe because that's exactly what this looks like. And the obvious happens, of course. This guy was so busy in overtaking the other car that he fails to see that the cars in front are stopping and ended up finding himself at the back of a trailer truck. This security guard has a few lights on his car and thinks that he's an officer, hogging the fast lane, and when this guy passes him, his little ego full of fakeness shatters and look at what he does next. The only explanation I can give for this idiotic move is that maybe the sun was in their eyes so they were busy taking down the sunshades. We all want an easy and quick shortcut to get home, but this guy took GTA logic and applied it to real life. After entering the highway in a very abrupt and aggressive manner, this Audi driver still tries to bully the lorry drivers who actually respond back and almost cause him to crash himself. This guy drives quickly to the signal before it turns red, but he gets cut off. As he moves to the other lane, the other person simply turns into his side, but you be the judge. While rolling up to this target, these guys probably thought this was a football or something and tried to smack it away. Sadly, the only thing they smacked was their car. You never know what kind of silly and out-of-pocket move the person in front might make, so it's always best to keep your distance from them. While on this highway, a Camaro driver becomes trapped between a lorry and a stupid van driver who deliberately boxes him inside. But nothing's gonna stop this guy.
To Jacobs. Oh, wait. Oh my God, hold on. Big wreck. Yeah. And you know what? I bought a dash cam the other day and I got an on cam.
After watching this truck driver struggle to get out of the situation by using the remaining 2 brain cells of his, I think he might have killed off most of mine too. A close call punches out a scream from this guy's gut when a car almost hits him while barging into the lane.
Right!
If this dad with his child were to walk a little slower than he is right now, he'd probably be in a bad way because a driver, probably drunk, comes flying in and wrecks his car. I swear to God I might have seen this in a cartoon or something because that is just goofy looking. Imagine if the car started flying away. An attempt to overtake using the shoulder goes south when the idiot driver starts ramming into road signs that ironically indicate danger. Just in case, if you want to see what the underbelly of your car looks like, you might want to take it to an intersection. You'll get some help from the blind drivers there. A Mustang driver who's losing his mind starts taking his rage out on all the cars around him after rear-ending a car that stopped at a signal. When you're carrying a load this big and expensive, rushing through railway tracks just as the train is on its way is in no way the smartest move.
Oh my god. Wow.
The idea here for this overtaking driver was to move all over the road. He did that, but not in the way he probably wanted. It was probably the best condition to drift a BMW M6, but sadly the driver wasn't up for the task and ruined a perfect car. No matter how careful you are, you can never be too vigilant because someone else might come and ruin your day for you. If speeding on a mountain road wasn't dangerous enough, here comes that one idiot friend of the group that always cuts the corner too fast and almost crashes his car.
Yeah, I think you're okay, man. You didn't hit nothing.
Road rage can get the best of you as these two idiots on the right show us because they lose control one by one. While reporting for his news channel, this reporter got to catch a hit and run live on his camera. At least they now have proof. This Citroen Ami is being put to the test by these guys who are not going to slow down for this turn. Bad decision. It's always important to look both ways before pulling out and not to mention stop before you do, but this guy didn't get the memo. Just because you have your indicator on doesn't mean that you can turn whenever you want. It's a warning, not an order, and then he had the audacity to run away after. The driver on the other side waits for this guy to come first, but someone behind him wants in first and pushes him back out of his turn. Street racing can be a really dangerous situation if someone messes up once, and here's a little view into what it looks like if it does go wrong. Some people just don't seem to realize how important it is to keep your eyes on the front, especially on highways, because you never know what's about to happen. Somehow this guy managed to flip over his car as he slowly bumps into another car and climbs over it, literally. One by one, everyone leaves the car meet in style, burning rubber and accelerating off, but here comes the Mustang that everyone's probably skeptical about, and justifiably so. What's the point in installing these signal lights when people like this truck driver who just casually turns in are gonna ignore them completely anyway? I think this guy was too focused on the phone than on his speed and what's in front of him, and smacks right into the little van. Sometimes, even when you have the right of way, people aren't gonna exactly respect that all the time, so best be prepared. If you think you're a good driver, you might want to try yourself out at some parallel parking to see if that's actually the case. Many have tried and many have failed. These two guys start fighting over a lane, and I don't know what the big deal really is, but the camera car driver really pulled off a funny move at the end by turning. Imagine sitting at a restaurant and watching someone do a hit and run right in front of you. He's out for the kill, isn't he? A bunch of enthusiasts were driving down the road when one of them, the driver of a black Supra, goes off-road and cuts everyone off, taking a sign along with him. Would you really blame this guy for ruining such a beautiful car because these drive-thrus are really narrow for some reason and they expect us to come in on bicycles?
Oh my god!
A couple of hot-headed youngsters managed to get a hold of their mom's car and started doing crazy things in it. Eventually, them flipping it over was bound to happen.
Yo.
Be on the lookout for other crazy people too, like the ones who think it's okay to turn when they see a car approaching them and get near enough to collide with them. I just despise these types of people that finally merge back on the road but are so slow you just have to break your momentum because of them. In a country like India, there's no telling who will ever admit that they're wrong for almost causing a really big accident. Look at him arguing like it wasn't his fault at all.
What are you doing? Shouting at me because you think I have done something wrong.
When you see a puddle of water coming up, you might want to stay clear of it because hydroplaning is a real thing and it can happen to any car at any speed. When you're on a freeway and your turn is coming up, it's best to slowly get yourself into the right lane timely and don't need to brake like a fool like this guy. Here's a little guide on what to do when you see the sign, and the first thing is to move into a single file as soon as you can. This poor guy almost got sandwiched between a truck and that car. Imagine driving down the road, listening to songs and minding your day when all of a sudden, someone makes a wrong U-turn and drives down your way as soon as you come close to them. Drifting on the beach is nice, but doing it in a front-wheel drive car? Yeah, that's where you know you don't know anything about cars. This driver almost had a heart attack because his car just kept sliding and sliding and eventually stopped at the very last second, only a few inches or so away from the wall.
Bro, I give you props, bro.
This guy could give SpongeBob SquarePants a run for his money when it comes to bad driving skills. That cutoff at the end's just perfect. Looks like someone was a little too desperate to overtake these guys as they speed on the green belt. Mercedes are tricky cars. One moment you feel like you have all the control in the world over the car, and the other second you're wrecked on the side because you gave it a little more juice. That right there is a fresh car with no number plate on it yet, and someone put an evil eye on it as a monkey behind the wheel managed to damage it already by driving into it. Here's another person who survived their ordeal after almost coming really close to shaking hands with a Grim Reaper. What an unbelievable save by God himself! What do you do when you see a biker right in front of your car? You press on the gas pedal, of course.
Wow.
Here's a driver that is well committed to making this exit, even if it means going home in an ambulance, but he just wanted to take that exit so hard. Imagine seeing a train going about 3 miles an hour max and still getting run over by it. You have to have a special kind of stupid to do that. This poor Porsche is under attack by an idiot trucker who can't tell if something is parked behind him or not. I hope insurance has him covered. This gorgeous-looking Huracan is in for a surprise. That SUV driver runs right into the car, maybe because they couldn't see it over their bonnet? While making a U-turn, this poor biker gets rear-ended by someone who just wanted to make the turn already, and, well, now he's gonna take a lot more time to get himself out of this mess. If you feel like you're drowsy before a long trip, you might want to change drivers or get some rest first before you set off. Would not want you to sleep behind the wheel like this guy. What would you call this one? A head-on collision or a rear end? Because this is the first time I'm seeing someone get into an accident like this. People would rather risk their lives to get somewhere faster rather than play it safe and wait a few seconds to reach their destination. A white truck seems to be coming down on the wrong side of the highway. Yes, a highway. Either this was deliberate or by accident. It was a very dangerous move, and it's only after a while that he turns around. A little drunk? I'd say he probably sat alone at night and drank until he could drink no more to cause this type of accident to parked cars. I think that woke him up because he didn't do anything of the sort while going back. Truck drivers need to be extra careful while overtaking because their cars are longer due to the bed they have behind their trucks. Sudden stops on the road are very unexpected and could happen at any place and any time, so it's vital to keep as much distance from the cars ahead as possible. If you want to see someone struggle to fire up their brain cells to move a trailer, then look no further because I have the perfect idiot for you. Accelerating on a bend is probably a thing best left to the pros because not everyone can control the sudden loss of grip if it happens, and this guy really couldn't. Now, this is the reason why I like Teslas. Their cameras and the quality these guys have is just crisp. You can clearly see the plate of this car. Sadly, some 13-year-olds got their hands on a car, and when they came in to park it, they ran right into the sign and poles. Now the little kid starts to panic by pushing the car because he doesn't know how to reverse. This grown man, however, acted like a 13-year-old and decided to drift alongside another car before smacking it and then his own car into a parking lot. Street racing at night when you have only 50% visibility as compared to the day seemed like a really nice idea to these guys as they crash around the highway. Talk about celebrating early. This guy was too excited to be here, and the result of his excitement? Well, right here in the shape of a wrecked car. The idea here was to swing the truck around by drifting, but as I mentioned before, these are really big vehicles and need a lot more room. This buffoon videos himself going well over the limit on a tight road, and when a turn comes up, he forgets that you had to brake too. As the pothole grows bigger, the cars stop and the lead driver goes round the hole, but an idiot behind him still decided, I'm gonna ram my car right into this big hole, and goes right for it. Here's the result of people who don't know how to act accordingly while driving their cars.
It's crazy, man. Only happening in New York.
These guys take off on the slippery and wet road, and as soon as they cross the signal, a car comes crashing into other cars, pushing them across the road.
Violent mob, Donald Trump refused to call off.